Hey, what's up, everyone? Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for clicking on the video. It's time to get some more Smiths in your system. Hope you don't mind today, because I don't. Okay, so today we're going to listen to the track Rubber Ring. So I actually don't know what album this is off of because I couldn't find it, actually. I think that it's a B-side. Actually, I really don't know. I think it's a B-side to something, but I couldn't really find any information. I found it on a compilation album, but I don't know where it's originally from. It may be something very, very obvious, but I don't have that information. I see the compilation album, The World Won't Listen. So maybe this was... I mean, I could do a little bit quickly research. B-side to The Boy with a Thorn in His Side. Okay, so there you go. So we've listened to that track, so this is the B-side to that. We're listening to this song because it is the favorite song from Killer Vibes. Killer Vibes, with the vibes spelled V-Y-B-Z. Thank you so much for the recommendation. Thank you for the suggestion. Let's go ahead and listen to it. We'll talk about it after. Here we go.
Passionate song to a lonely soul is so easily outgrown. But don't forget the songs that made you smile and the songs that made you cry. When you lay in awe on the bedroom floor and said, oh, some other me mother.
Nice drum roll there. Matches with his yodeling very well.
The passing of time and all of its crime is making me sad again. The passing of time and all of its sickening crimes is making me sad again. But don't forget the songs that made you cry and the songs that saved your life. Yes, you're older now and you're a clever swine, but they were the only ones who ever stood by you.
Love the drumming in here, huh? That nice echoey ambience on the guitar is really nice too.
The passing of time leaves empty lives, waiting to be filled. The passing of time leaves empty lives, waiting to be filled. I'm here with a cause, I'm holding the torch in the corner of your room. Can you hear me? And when you're dancing and laughing and finally living, hear my voice in your head and think of me kindly.
Yodeling sounds so fun every single time he does it.
sleeping. You do not want to believe. You are sleeping.
I was trying to figure out what was being said there at the end. It sounded... I didn't think it was what I did hear. The you are sleeping, you don't want to believe. But it sounded like something else. But I guess that was what was being repeated there at the end. Okay, if you don't like Morrissey's for what I always say, his morose yodeling, then you're not gonna like this track because it's chock full of it. I mean, like, it's filled with it. So if you don't like that aspect, then you're not going to like this song. I like that aspect, and it's the Smiths. I expect quality, I get quality, and I like how well it's integrated into the ending of the chorus when he sings that. The standout for me on this one are the drums. The drums are so active and powerful in here. I really like the rolls and the fills that are being used, especially when Morrissey gets into the yodeling. Like, the drums actually very nicely accentuate his voice and his delivery there, filling in that specific rhythm with, like I said, the rolls and, hitting those marks. And it works very, very well in continuing the song. The song at first kind of gave me a little bit of a Police vibe. It had a little bit of that Regatta de Blanc kind of sound, like with the guitar and the pacing of the drums and the rhythm. It kind of sets you up on the offbeat, which was kind of cool. I like how they perform that. And then as it moves on, it gets into something, what I would say is a little bit more standard and of their sound. But I really do like how that begins. And in essence, it is carried through the rest of the track as well. Mars' guitar sounds wonderfully ambient as it does crunchy. And it just works as a whole. Let's dive into these lyrics, though. A sad fact widely known, the most impassionate song to a lonely soul is so easily outgrown. But don't forget the songs that made you smile and the songs that made you cry. When you lay on the bedroom floor and said, "Oh, oh, smother me, mother." Okay. The passing of time and all of its crimes is making me sad again. The passing of time and all of its sickening crimes is making me sad again. But don't forget the songs that made you cry and the songs that saved your life. Yes, you're older now and you're a clever swine, but they were the only ones who ever stood by you. So I see that this is like growing up. Like, as you grow up and to an extent, I guess, it's possible to become jaded in adult life and such and forget your childhood and the things that made you happy. So he's basically saying, like, as you get older, don't forget the things that made you happy. That, when you were laying on the floor and listening to music, or the simple things, whatever those things may be, don't forget those as you grow up. And then when he says, you're older now, you're a clever swine, but they were the only ones who ever stood by you. I think that a lot of people, when they are growing up, and I don't know what age exactly, but let's just say like you're in their teens to your young adult, you kind of have that slightly rebellious attitude against your parents. You're trying to become your own person. But he's saying, they were the only ones that ever stood by you. So keep that in mind. Don't rebel too hard, basically. The passing of time leaves empty lives waiting to be filled. I'm here with the cause. I'm holding the torch in the corner of your room. Can you hear me? And when you're dancing and laughing and finally living, hear my voice in your head and think of me kindly. All these words, when you finally reach that, what's the word? When you finally reach that maturity, he says, when you're finally living, remember me, think of the words that I said, which, like what we just went over. Do you love me like you used to? You're clever. Everybody's clever nowadays. You're clever. You are, and then it ends with that repeated sentence of, you are sleeping. You do not want to believe. Like, you're not awake yet. You're not living yet, but you need to wake up and you need to start living. Like, I think I'm in the ballpark. Let me know what you guys thought of the song. Thank you so much for sharing your favorite song with me, Killer Vibes. The rest of you, let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Follow me over on Twitter. Support the channel on Patreon. Thank you so much for being here. Come back tomorrow, and I'll see you all later. Bye. Why'd I yell at you? I'm sorry, I didn't need to yell.